Welcome to live stream tonight, everybody. Pro Se Lawsuit Center. I still like to call it legal school, but because when people get here at legal school, they know they got to do some work. Lawsuit Center, sometimes people don't think, I'm not sure, I don't know, but we don't have no. We don't have no attorneys around here to help you do the work. And it's real important to actually do the work, because when you do the work, then you understand the words that you need to say to make these people realize that your legal team educated you. We blaming this stuff on the legal team, whatever. Okay, but if you don't say the right words when you're communicating with these people on Zoom or in an email or okay, let's just start the gate. When you go down there and talk to the clerk, everybody goes down there and starts talking to the clerk and starts telling them all their business and all the stuff that don't realize that the clerk is the one that signed the paperwork against them. It ain't the judge. Just work with me. Pro Se Lawsuit Center, where you get battle-tested, legal-powered weapons, nuclear-powered legal weapons, that you need to protect your due process. I love this picture. Yeah, my machine put this picture together to reference what we're doing based off of, well, the word that we put in the description that we're going to talk about tonight. Except the whole building was on fire. The flag was on fire. That building was on fire over there. that was on fire. So I had to tone the computer down just a little bit. Imagine that. I had to whip out my badge. I got a badge from Amazon. We need to tone that down because we ain't trying to do that. We got a nice niche over here where we get to kick the attorneys in the face and make them force the judge kick them. So somebody's getting kicked in the face now other than us. Okay, yeah, so our job, stop the court process. Let's just keep it simple. I played football in college and I boxed after that for several years, and those are two things not smart people do. Okay, so we just need to keep it simple. What's the goal? Stop the court process, get your deed delivered. Clean up your credit could be in there somewhere. There's a few others. Most people, okay, the first two are the ones that, that we do here. That, there could be a third one getting some money and doing some other stuff or whatever. And those are all good goals to have, but they ain't the primary goal. The primary goal is to stop the court process, get your deed delivered. Stop the court process, keep yourself out of jail. Or somebody. Maybe we'll say somebody else because we don't want to. Okay. So the residential property tax package, we put together a little video. And this now we're going to do a screen share. Been learning a little bit more about how to get the right screen showing so we can so we can be showing documents when we're going to show them instead of having other stuff in the way. Okay. Welcome to Pro Se Lawsuit Center, where we provide affordable, battle-tested, non-conventional legal weapons that you can use to start the court process without an attorney. I'm Coach Neighbors, and in this video, we're going to review updates to the residential property tax lawsuit package, and we're going to also talk about the workshop coming up, the residential property tax breakdown workshop, where we show you what the real numbers are on both sides. And anybody that comes to the workshop and can tell me what the most expensive thing is on the list, they'll get something free. So that's what we're gonna do on that. I'm Coach Neighbors, and we about to roll this property tax package. Okay, so before we get to that, we want to talk about the strategy that we use to stop the court process. Now, we figured out how to keep it simple because, the other stuff and complicated, the mortgage and all the steps and how many times you got to change the stuff in court, all that stuff is getting a little ridiculous. So we just figured out, since the state is the one that's attacking you, and the state is the one that's paying the judge to take your stuff or lock you up in jail. And the state is the one that's paying the attorneys that they sent to help you. And the state's also paying the prosecutor that they sent to take you. Yeah, I think I got that right. Okay, so it's not going to do any good in their conventional system trying to do all that stuff, prove all that stuff. You need to start the gate. At the gate. That's what we started at the gate. Now, what we've learned how to do from the real-time feedback is to cut to the chase and add the people that's So we just like to stop the state court process and get on out of there and get your lawsuit filed over in federal court, and then serve those people. And then you're going to demand federal court just order them to the settlement table because they can't respond to nothing that you filed. They cannot respond. State court players can't respond to federal case law with statutes and codes. No, and they can't respond when you add them to their own action using the counterclaim. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. You add them to their own action, $200 million on the counterclaim that you get in my package. If you get the package, you get the counterclaim and the lawsuit. We use the counterclaim to get the money damage on the table, stop the state court process, and then you get your lawsuit filed in federal court. But, and when you head it over there, you want to take a certified copy of the state court docket sheet. I said sheet. I better leave that one alone. You want to take a copy of that with you over to federal court. And now you're arguing that your due process was violated. They violated the Tucker's Act, the Foreign Agent Registration Act. They violated this stuff last week. They violated your due process. That's what makes everybody's stuff the same. People telling me, but mine is unique. Yours, no. They violated your due process. They violated his due process. They violated my due process. They violated everybody's due process. And until you learn how to go after them for why and not waste your time arguing the what, you're going to end up getting kicked in the butt. We've learned how to do that. We addressed the why. Why are they able to violate you so easy? Because they're violating your due process. So we're going to show you, I'm just going to show you the outline, and we try to add this in all of our packages. Now, when you understand this and everybody's stuff's the same, then that just cuts out all the pressure and overthinking and all of that stuff that you do in their conventional program, worrying about proving to the judge this or showing the judge that judge getting paid, okay? So it don't matter what the hell you show them, they're getting paid. The only time that a judge getting paid gives a crap, and any judges can chime in and come to the stream or something or whatever, the only time that they give a crap is if they've been forced to visualize a shared liability. That don't happen very often because not very many people are in the non-conventional program. You just add them to their own stuff, and it's bam, it's a wrap. They can't litigate a case they're a party to. They can't represent each other. They can't represent anybody else from there. And if you want to be like butthead about it, then you could add the State Bar Association as a plaintiff. You add them as plaintiff to your counterclaim. You jam it in their face without having to serve them, without having to pay, without having to ask them for leave of court, which we don't do anyway when we want it, and without any of that. And now the case is done. Now you're out on a 50-yard line, maybe a little further. And get your stuff lined up in federal court. And then you want to order the federal court judge to make them come to the settlement table when they get there. Okay? Because here's what you got. Here's what you got. They could not respond to federal case law and federal acts down there on the state level. They still can't respond to them on the federal level without having a federal bar card. Bam! Oh, you can get one. I dropped it down $25 on the website. You can get one from winningcourtnow.com. Get your federal bar card today. Okay, so they still can't respond. And I haven't heard of one single time that they got a federal attorney that was interested in, you know why? Because if I was a judge, I'd be saying, oh, hell no, y'all get get that shit out the back door. And usually they give them a date. The judge gives them a date to get that. is 200 million federal civil rights complaint and statement of constitutional emergency lawsuit for wrongful foreclosure. Oh, forgery. That signature that happened after you left the signing table, forgery, and there's some other forged signatures all along the way because it was an administrative thing. So, that forgery is powerful. Oh. Deed fraud. Now, the due process violation everybody talks about, but do you really know? What that means is that the process wasn't fair. We think we're in a judicial court and we're not. We're in an administrative court. They make up the rules, do whatever they want. So if they foreclosed on you already, then you can go in with this, jam up the whole process, and then get there and get a certified copy of the complete doc sheet to take with you over to federal court. Now, this is the offer to pay letter. We included this letter generally was only in the premium foreclosure defense package. This letter we included in the property tax package, also in the commercial property tax package. This letter is used to challenge them on the mortgage lien before you're in default. It has in it on the second page, it has a statute that they require, and it's a law that their attorneys, all the government workers are supposed to. The statute mandates that they're supposed to provide the original instrument of indebtedness in its original form when they call in the full loan amount, and they don't do that. That's pretty much it on offer pay. Now, we mail the offer to pay letter to them certified, or we make them sign for it so that we have verification that they received it. And then later on, I tell people to send a copy over to the clerk. Put your name, your name, your address on there, even if there's not a case against you. Okay, because the same parties are the ones doing this to everybody, and you just put that information, you send it in to them and tell them that they're gonna foreclose on me pretty soon. So I just want you guys to have this so you can file it in the case. I know it sounds. You need to understand what you learn how to do here is use the facts trump their case law, trumps their procedures, their policies, all of that. And that's why attorneys always be talking crap. I was talking about how many cases have, how many, no. Oh, the case law is what they put on the table. It's not going to help. It's not going to help us. All that, when you look at it that way, all that does is open up the argument. Okay, we ain't trying to have that. So we don't worry about case law. We're going with the facts, Jack. And then we have a demand to strike the judge's order. And that's pretty much it. So in the statutes, right? So can you make them go get my deed? Okay, because they got my deed in their office, and the property transfer statute says they're supposed to deliver my deed to my house. But Judge, my legal team said what they did was a constructive delivery and registered in the office. Now, I'm not sure if you know what a constructive delivery is. I'm going to assume you don't because I think you're honest. Okay, I got to slow that last. Yeah. Oh, well, constructive delivery means that once they register, they're not going to ever talk about the fact that it was private property, your private property, before. And then once it's registered, that allows them to reclassify your property and property tax. But there's one other thing that happened when they registered your property. When they registered your property, that allowed the first illegal lien to be put on your property. Oh, no, I ain't talking about the tax lien. I'm talking about everybody's property got the same shit. Work with me. If there were several people who own property, all of those owners would have to be at the table to sign that lien, right? So the fact that they accepted the signature from you is proof that you own the property already, and I smell stink. But I done my homework. I can break it down for you. All right, you went to the table, you signed, and then they didn't let you take nothing home with you to go put your deed in your Bible or in your firebox or under your mattress with your money or outside in the coffee can, wherever. They didn't let you do that. They kept it. And then after you left the table, they stamped paid to the order of on it. And usually a bank vice president or Linda Green, the robo-signer, there's a couple of other famous ones, and they process it through the Federal Reserve for electronic credits. Now, Modern Money Mechanics is a publication put out by these dudes who know way more about the fracking banking system than I do. They said that these fools was granted 9 times the amount that went into a demand deposit account. 9 times the amount. And then they wrote a check for one amount to 9 times the amount. So that money was generated with your signature. Well, the second signature was done illegally, and they turned it into a security. And then they made a copy of it to mail to you to let you think that if you made a copy of a security and mailed it to them to make them think that they're in charge of, they'll be knocking on your door. They might not even knock. I don't know. Now, here is the residential property tax fraud lawsuit package. A regular $700 value on sale for the next couple of days. For the next couple of days. Don't call me later if you guys miss it. Next couple of days. And right here we got one of the videos from Nikki Ross. Yeah, that review video from Nikki Ross was what got us kicked off of Teachable. And you see right here the documents that you get. We just kind of outline them a little bit. $199. This don't sell for $199. And we have instructional video right there too that you can click on. We got the videos right there. You ain't got to go nowhere to see the fire right there. Go get him, coach. We got that technomology. Yeah, I'm just going out on this package. This package is undefeated. They can't. This package, they can't. When you come in with the facts, that's a wrap. There's no arguing. There's nothing they can do when you come in with the facts. When you get the facts, that's it. It's a wrap. So we talk about the counterclaim strategy, the internal conflict that jams up their system. This is one of the most effective ways to stop court action. And the counterclaim process can be used in your own stuff. You don't even have to you just add them to their own parties. And now we're not talking about whether or not you stated a claim or whether or not you whatever, because none of that matters because you added them. I don't think it matters. Because they can't answer. They can't litigate a case they're a party to. They can't. I wonder why attorneys don't tell people this. Damn. Yeah, we figured it out over her. Because we got some people that's getting tired of getting punched in the face. So if you're getting tired of getting punched in the face, you're getting tired of giving up that money for the property tax when you get done getting educated, then I think you're going to see things a little bit different. It's going to be a little harder to get that money out of the bank to go give these people when you can make them go sit the half down. We got people in the program that have used this. They didn't get their deed, but they didn't get a tax bill either and haven't got one. And that's good, but them